What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, we are at it again with Meet the Miner, and this week, none other than the Mining King. What's going on, King?
What's going on, Hobbyist? Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Celebrity on campus, people. I am excited to have King on. If you guys aren't familiar and you're just finding or coming across the Mining King for the first time, he is a content creator and he is a crypto miner within the scene. So I'll make sure I leave all of his Twitter and his YouTube stuff all down below. You guys can check him out, especially as you come across some interesting things about him during this video. So if you guys aren't familiar with Meet the Miner, it's a fun sit down casual conversation. So there's no visuals. It's just two handsome guys in front of you chatting away. So feel free to throw it off to the side while you get some work done or you're working on your GPUs. So King, you ready to jump into some fun Q&A?
Oh, I can't wait to see what you have for me now.
I like it. I like it. So we're gonna kind of build out the bio here for the Mining King. So we'll start at the beginning. So when did you get into crypto mining, and how did you come about it? Was it a friend, family, an interest? So give us the rundown.
So I actually came across it in late 2020. It was during the holiday season. I think it was around Thanksgiving or so. I was on YouTube and this red furry guy came, he came across my
I don't know where this,
there.
Let's keep it PG here. Talking about furries, all right? Let's keep it PG, all right?
All right. But yeah, Panda came across my feed and I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, what is this? Because I always do computer stuff. So like it's usually like Jay's 2 cents, Gamers Nexus, Linus, a lot of those guys. I've been doing computers for a long time. So they were usually, but I was like, oh, this seems cool. And he was building a mining rig. And I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. I'm like, so you could actually generate revenue from building computers? I'm like, what? So I'm like, okay, I'm like super skeptical because I've heard about it, right? But I've never actually like looked into it. This is the first time I watched the whole video, watched them build it out. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty easy, right? So that's simple. We could get this accomplished. So I was like, well, let's do the nice hash thing, right? Let's mine a nice hash for a week. I was going to be out of town. So I was like, I'll just leave my gaming computer on. I'll let it mine, let it do its thing. And sure enough, I made some crypto and I'm like, all right. So January 2021, I bought my first mining rig and I got 5 RX 570 8 gigs, the 𝐂𝐳𝐬 Strix. And I still have them. They're actually down at Hawks right now in one of my octominers.
Nice.
It's actually ironically, I put all my Polaris cards that I had in my original rig in the octominer I traded with Red Panda. So I did a trade for a 3070 for a octominer. So at the time GPUs were expensive, so it was probably a better trade. But now, now the values have swapped. Yeah. But yeah, so early 2021 is when I got into it.
Okay. Which I feel that theme, based off people I've chatted with, is very common. A lot of people within the last 2 to 3 years have kind of jumped into things. So good to know. So do you remember the first crypto you mined on outside of NiceHash with those 5700s, or had you purchased crypto prior to that at all, just with an exchange or something like Robinhood or Webull or something like that?
So no, I am a terrible trader. I've tried to do some small stocks. I'm a terrible trader. I always lose. I don't trade. No trading for me. I'm a long-term holder, except for when I initially started out. But no, I started off on Ethereum. I was one of those guys that started on the Ethereum thing. But I did start mining other things though, because Ethereum was the most profitable, but I wanted to test all these other, coins out, all these other projects, see, what they're all like. Cause it's something new, right? It's like, to me, it was more like a hobby, not like, hey, I got an ROI on this rig kind of a thing.
No, it's good. That's definitely good. So let's talk a little bit about your crypto mining farm. So give us the rundown. I know for a fact you have some rigs hosted, some rigs, on site there with you. So kind of give us the layout, the roster of how many rigs, how many cards. Give it to us now.
Only GPUs or all?
The whole kit and caboodle. I want the whole package.
I have a helium miner that's off right now because
Sorry to
it
hear that.
hasn't been doing. It's not doing well. I'm actually trying to arrange a trade for it, and then I
Ooh, I like
have
it.
I have an S19. It's currently off right now. I'm trying to get some immersion stuff for it, so it's off.
Ooh.
I have a iPolo, the 130 mega hash model. That's on. I'm gonna stay on. It's in the kitchen. Wife loves it.
Wife loves
So
it. It's a toaster. It's the toaster, right?
yeah, it's the Wi-Fi toaster. So I had to put on there.
I don't know. There's just no slot for bread. That's it. You know, it's a toaster, but no slots for bread.
I got a mini Doge. I have 6600s. Those are on. I have a test bench that has a 2080 Ti. That's on. 6 of the Red Devils I traded with Panda. I've done a lot of trades with Panda over the last few months. The Red Devils I actually have are off.
Okay.
Not because I'm not really concerned with profit. They're just not able to yield like very much right now, so it doesn't make sense. I have a 6700 rig, AMD reference, full Octominer X8 of those in my garage, and then I have 6 3070 Ti's and 1 3080 Ti in an X8 as well, and that's my garage. So I got a few cards, and then over at Hawks, I got a lot.
Give it to us.
I got 2 dozen 6700 XTs there.
Okay.
And then I have another 2 dozen 3070s, I think. A 3080 rig. I have my Polaris rig, and I have two dozen, maybe more, 1660 supers.
Wow.
So
okay. Yeah.
Total together, I got like a couple GPUs that are off here at the house. But it's like I think I'm like at 107 total.
Okay. And of all of that, which is insane, are you mining right now with all of it, or and if you are mining, what are you mining currently right now?
Oh man, I gotta give away my secret here.
Well, you don't have to. It's you know what? This is 2 weeks out anyway. This video is 2 weeks out, so you're safe. Get those bags.
It's all right. Everything that's at Hawks on Flux, 100%. Even the AMD rigs.
Okay.
I've fine tuned them, so I get about 38 souls off the 6700, so they're doing pretty good. And also everything at my house is on Flux. All GPUs. 100%.
What a secret. What a secret. Okay, that's awesome. Good for you. No, and I'll ask there, why Flux? Like why right now? Which for those of you guys kind of adding a timestamp to this, it's the 22nd of September. Why Flux in your mind? Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I know. Right now everything's unprofitable. So to me, I don't look at the mining from a profitability standpoint. To me, it's purely yields, right? I'm thinking in 5 years from now, when we're mining Flux, it's probably going to be like ETH, right? We're going to be waiting for that 0.1 Flux payout. You know what I mean? So to me, I want to just get as much of it as I can. I feel like this is like before Amazon got humongous, right? You have this opportunity, and I just gotta take advantage of it, man. I think this is going to be huge. Proof of useful work, because to me, there's coins out there that are meme coins or coins that have been out there a long time, and they're not doing a lot with their projects. Flux has a purpose. They have utility. They're innovative. Those are the things that I think that are gonna like make them just skyrocket to the top. I'm hoping it passes Ethereum, but maybe I'm optimistic.
hey, especially because you're all in on it, which I don't disagree with you. So what would you say to those people that would come back to you in this situation, definitely with the current cost of electric, and we'll get into that here shortly, on why are you mining it when it'd be cheaper just to buy the Flux straight out right now?
Oh, me and Mr. Voltage get in this conversation a lot because he's about the buying it rather than mining it if it's cheaper and all that stuff. So the one thing that Flux does that others don't is going to be it has parallel assets.
Yeah.
So while you're mining that, you're essentially getting free coins down the road. You know what I mean? So it's just like you could get even more. And on top of that, there's not even a list. they haven't even established that, hey, there's only going to be this many parallel assets. So
Mhm.
if they unlock any more, you're going to get those parallel assets as well. So to me, from a long-term standpoint, this is like something, my dad told me years ago when I was a kid. He's like, you got to quit looking right here in front of your face, and you need to look at the bigger picture down the road.
Mm.
It took me a long time to understand what that really meant. And I think to me, Flux is a long-term kind of a game. So I
Okay.
think if people are able to, I know it's not cheap and it's going to cost people lots of money. I
Yeah.
understand that. I mean, I'm footing all my bill right now, right? Right now between my house and Hawks, it's like
Yeah.
it's roughly costing me $1,000 a month in electric
Okay.
is what I'm paying
Wow.
out of my pocket. So I'm willing to foot that. So I know everybody's financial situation is different, and some people can't do that. Obviously, right? They live
Mhm.
paycheck to paycheck, and
Yep.
maybe the mining was just a extra revenue. I get it all, but I think if you want to see, people are always looking for those big time gains and the profitability, and to me, it's like this is the time where you want to stack your bags because these yields of flux is going to go way down. It's going to be like ETH, where you're waiting for that point 0.1 flux to come out.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I mean?
brutal. No.
How,
Oh, I think you're smart. I mean, I think Flux is a very good answer to the challenge of why don't you just buy it? Because when you buy it, you're not getting the parallel assets down the road, and exactly what you said. And for those that are entirely unfamiliar, as Mining King had said, Flux is different than most coins out there, where when you're mining it, you're also, they call it parallel asset, that allows you to go ahead and as you're mining it, you're actually unlocking these additional cryptocurrencies that they do have set up. And so what'll happen is you actually get paid out with those as a parallel asset, which is nice, which is it's a little bit of extra here and there. But the big thing that occurs is that they have this snapshot process occur with Flux, that all of a sudden there's a snapshot, like we have one with 𝐓𝐸RGO and Flux. And so when you get that, you're not just getting a little bit of Flux based off of how much you've been mining before the last one. It determines how much you get the next time. So it's awesome. So like I went back the other day and redeemed all of these different the tokens for the snapshots for like Cadena and Ethereum and Solana, all these ones, and Tron, all these ones that I hadn't done yet. So I now have them
yeah,
all sitting in my bags and I got to convert them. But the nice thing is they're a decent amount of flux. Like there's a decent amount
yep.
of flux sitting there that I can go ahead and convert. And just as King had said, he will now continue to get this as time goes on for every one that comes out, which is the win-win. So it's a very interesting strategy. So you talked a little bit about GPU hosting there, and for those not familiar, how exactly does that work for you from a customer perspective?
So I have probably 75, 90% of my farm. It's hard to say the majority of my farm's over at Hawk's
Mhm.
place. He has a warehouse, Hawk CryptoMining, and he offers a hosting service.
Not sponsored.
So yeah, not sponsored.
Okay.
I pay about 16 cents per kilowatt, and it's I pay about $25 a rig, I think. So there's a little bit of a rig fee there. That's just because he has to turn them off, blow them out, he has to move them around, things like that.
Sure. Sure.
There has been some issues, right, with my R8s there, that there was I think a bad batch of power supplies, and so we had to
Mm,
cycle them out. So far, my rigs have been up 99.9% of the time. You know what I mean?
that's nice.
And it's anytime there's an issue, I mean, other than I know him personally, but I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
most of his customers he tries to get personal with, so that way, if you got an issue, you can just text him. Hit him up on
That's nice.
Discord. Just say, hey man, this rig and this number is off. Could you like hard reset it or whatever? So um, I've had him repaste a couple of cards too, because some of the cards I bought used from the UK, so they just shipped directly from the UK over
Oh, that
here.
makes sense. Yeah.
So I never touched them. So they were good on Ethereum, but once I put them on Flux, they
Yeah.
a couple there's four of them that had kind of a different attitude about them. So
Okay.
I had to get those. I had to get those repasted. So yeah, it's been a great experience. Like it's really hard, especially for me, and I know for other people. Like
Hmm.
most people don't want to let other people host their rigs.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
100%.
I'm used to waking them up, turning them, making sure they're on, checking on the wires,
I
going through
check my
everything.
shed daily. It's literally checking my shed daily, you know. I totally understand. When I walk out there to be empty and I just look around every day, you know, nothing's here. So you talked about purchases there with like buying from the UK, and I know before the Ethereum merge, so let's talk a little bit about hardware purchases. I know that you were very bullish about hardware purchases then. Every time I talked to this man, he was buying more hardware, buying more hardware. So what was kind of your mindset then? What were you buying, and what was the strategy behind that?
So my strategy is I was trying to get to 10 gigahash, but I also I stopped about because I went up massively. I was like maybe 50 GPUs to like I'm over 100 now. So
Ooh,
I doubled the farm easily,
yeah.
and right now I'm kind of just gauging the electric, making sure that I can afford it.
Hmm.
I might buy some more cards later down the road. Not too sure. I was thinking about an A2000 rig, but those cards they don't have good resale value. So for me,
No.
they would have to be dirt cheap for me to get into them. Other than that, though, mostly what I've been buying is 6700s and 3070s. Besides my 3080 rig, which I love my 3080 rig. Thing's amazing. It chews
They're
through everything.
workhorses. Yeah, I mean they're beefy. I mean a whole rig of 3080s. I mean that's insane. So based off of that question, which leads me into this question. So is crypto mining for you a hobby, an addiction, or a career?
I'm gonna say it's a career for me at this point.
Okay, that's
Um,
exciting.
so yeah, I mean, some people might have watched some of our live streams on the Saturday
Hmm.
Night Live, and I have partnered with Hawk in his
Hmm.
new hosting business that's going down in Florida. So to me, this is going to be like like a business career. So that's just me though. But to me, it's not really work though, because
Yeah.
I've always loved computers and being around technology. So you know, I always wanted to do something early on because if you're doing something you love, it's not work, right?
Hmm.
Because you love being there.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
so to me, it's not work. So it's something I love doing, and I'm able to, you know, make a business out of it. So it's a win-win.
Smart, smart. So we talked a lot about electric here. We talked about, you know, as a home miner, and then, you know, you have it a lot of your rigs hosted. So what's your current electric rate where you're located? I know you're in Arizona, and then I also do know as well that you have solar. So kind of give us the rundown of how solar plays into things as well with your electric rate there.
So my solar is a little bit different than like chump changes or like some other
Okay.
people's. I didn't buy my solar because the cost was it was
Mm-hmm.
like 50 grand for each side of my roof. I don't want to shell out a hundred
Oh,
thousand dollars.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I have a lot though. I got like 90 panels. I
Wow.
think it's like
Okay.
90 or 92. Yeah, I got a lot. Um, but because I live in Arizona and the AC is just pumping into the house, like
Hmm.
not just during the day, at night too. Because hey, when it's 110 out there, even at night, it gets down to like 87, 89 degrees. It's not comfortable. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're for 4 months of the year, we're in hot weather. So I have the AC pulling. So my solar works like this: is it's all leased, and I pay a flat electric rate during the day. It's
Okay.
11 cents. And then because that helps me because I am on a sort of like max, like
Hmm.
on a variable time, but my times are is a set time. So during the day, it's like 10 cents, right? So like, oh, well, you're paying one more cent per kilowatt. But
Hmm.
between 3 and 8, it goes up to a quarter.
Wow.
So
Okay.
those are that's the on-demand time, and then that gets really expensive, like really, really fast. Like before I had solar, I only had 2 rigs down here, maybe 3, and it was like my first bill down here was like $700 on my
Oh
electric
my
bill.
gosh.
It
Yeah.
was a lot. It was a
Yep.
lot, and I was like,
Yep.
"Oh man, we got to get solar."
Gotta do
So
something. Gotta do something.
but I did talk to the power company and they helped me out a little bit. So
Okay.
after I think 9 o'clock to like 7 o'clock in the morning. So after 9 o'clock at night till
Mhm.
7 in the morning, I'm on like it only costs me a nickel.
Wow. So that's like
So
perfect. Yeah.
it does drop down, but yeah. So during the day, I know I lose out on that 1 penny, but it helps me out during that 3 to
Mhm.
8 time when the prices go way up.
So you ideally could mine from home like you are now. Just that one time window is kind of not the best time to be mining. Like it's really expensive for you right now.
Yeah, it's sometimes depending on how I feel that day, I might turn off the rigs for like 5 hours maybe or something
Yeah,
like that. If it's a really
smart.
hot day and the AC's been blasting all day, I might turn it off for 4 or 5 hours and kick them back on. But typically the Mining King just keeps going.
Pays the piper. I like it. So talking about heat, talking about being in Arizona and stuff, how are you handling heat? Because you still have a decent amount of rigs, far more than most casual hobbyist miners do at their home. How are you handling heat, especially in Arizona?
So in my guest room, I have the 6600s. They're on a 𝐓𝐲𝐼𝐴 motherboard. I chose those because they're low power and low heat, right? So don't have to really worry about that. The test bench is also a 𝐓𝐲𝐼𝐴 motherboard. Usually have 1 to 2 cards on it. Right now, I think I just have a 2080 Ti on that. So 7 cards in one bedroom. So it's on 120. So I'm not going to push it anymore. I'm leaving that.
Smart.
And then in the laundry room, I have my 6 Red Devils and my Doge miner. So that's, if I had the Red Devils on, that's pushing like 800 watts ish. So I don't do any more on that one either. And then you get into the heat on there. I just let it all be passive in the 2 bedrooms in the house. Then you get over into the garage. I actually built a brand new version of my cabinet. So it is I guess you call it a baker's rack or one of those wire racks, you get from Walmart or Home Depot. And I took some of the insulated foam board and I pretty much did the exact same thing that Panda did. But I actually made like an actual box around it. And then I took my two of my inline fans and I put them at the very back. So there's about a 4-foot gap maybe between the wall and the rack. So there's room for the air to go back there, but it does get sucked out right away. So I got 2 of the AC Infinity inline fans there. I think they're the 8-inch ones. Yeah. 8-inch. So I'm pushing like, I think 1600 CFM when they're out there like that.
Ones. Okay.
Yeah. And then recently I made my own like homemade vents in for my garage. I made some it's like a 2x4 frame, like a rectangle. So there's vents that go across it, filters on the back.
And look good. It look really good. Yeah.
You could just move them and move them out of the way or whatever. They're not permanent. So it's just something for me to be able to draw in air, you know what I mean? Passively. That's the only way I could do it really. I was thinking about trying to make a false window in my garage door, but then I was like, if they see that and I have to replace it, dude, I'm just gonna have to replace the whole door.
Yeah. So right now you just have your garage door come down onto this fake wall that you've built that has vents put into it. And no trouble yet from any HOA or neighbors or anything?
No. So my immediate neighbor that's to the one side of me, she's this older lady. She's a real nice lady. She used to be in the technology space for the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
So she actually likes it. She always comes over and talks to me about what do you got going in the garage now? She always comes over.
I got a meth lab going in here. All right.
So no, so far nobody said anything, but I did take the strategy to back up both of my vehicles up against the garage door. As much as I can to block people from seeing anything.
Yeah. You could do too. I just thought about it is you could take, which these are a cheap solution, but they work well, is you could take some box fans and position them on the inside of the garage to suck air in through those vents if you needed to as well.
I have one of those big DeWalt floor fans that I got from Costco.
Perfect.
They're like 7,500 CFMs for the really, really hot days, which we get a lot of those. Summer is nothing but triple digits. We're just about to get out of triple digits now.
Dude, that's insane. Because to be honest with you, like right now, like I'm in a sweatshirt right now because I was at my kid's soccer practice and it was, by the time I left there, it was 66. So like it's all of a sudden like fall came out of nowhere in Pennsylvania and over the last, and it's dropping. I think our last 70-day was like the other day, and I'm not complaining. I mean, it's 66 on my intake side of my shed and it's 86 on the exhaust side. And I'm like, hell yeah, like we're doing work here. I love it. Like, you know, but no, that's good. So outside of GPU mining, and we talked Bitcoin that you have there, are you into any other projects out there from a mining perspective? Any CPU mining, any node mining, anything else you got?
So, well, you can't really mine nodes, but yes, I do have nodes.
It's still mining. It's still mining. Come on now. Gosh.
But you're not actually mining. But yeah, okay, I do have nodes.
You're being rewarded crypto for holding a node. Got it.
Yeah, I actually just got a new server in. So
Okay.
it's an older server, but it's new to me. It's a PowerEdge R620, and it has
Nice.
20 cores, 40 threads, 120 gigs of RAM. So I have
Wow, it's
five
beefy.
no yeah, and it has 8 hard drive bays too, because I know with the proof of useful work coming along that they're gonna start planning on rewarding people more for hard drive space.
Yeah.
So I want to be ready for that.
Project
So
Thunder. Yep.
I have 5 active nodes right now. I do plan on selling off some of my Ethereum because I got a pretty good sized bag of Ethereum. I'm
You
waiting for
should.
that.
You should have done it forever ago. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I'm kicking myself for it.
Yeah, you are. You're like mother.
I was holding out. I'm holding out for more. All right. Don't
Best of
crush my
luck to
dreams.
you. Best of luck to you. Yeah. That's great though. That's great though. I mean, it sounds like that'll be a really cool project to be able to expand that. Are you looking at anything else other than Flux nodes? Any other types of nodes at this point or not yet?
I did inquire over with Ergo. I know there's no incentive for it, but
Yeah.
for their node as well. Other than that, maybe an 𝐓𝐸 node, but I know that's also probably going to be like Ravencoin because I know they're just partnering with Flux Labs right
Okay.
now. So I know that they're going to do nodes over there, but I know the Ravencoin nodes they also are not an incentive, but it would be cool to run something on the Flux network. Something I'm kind of looking into.
Yeah, smart. All right, so we're going to flip gears here a little bit, talk more about some projects and things like that. So, are there any crypto projects out there that you believe deserve more attention than they get as of today? Is there one that stands out to you?
All right, here we go. Flux.
You fangirl. All right, I like it.
It is definitely underestimated.
What did Daniel Keller pay you before coming on here? He's like, "Hey, pump it, please."
Yeah, no, it's just how they approached everything and how they're utilizing everything. I just feel like, to me, like to get in. I mean, I don't even know what the price is today. It was like 90 cents the last time I looked, like a day or two ago. But it's
yeah, I just looked yesterday. I saw it was like 86 cents, and like I hadn't looked in like a week and a half, and I'm like, what the? I'm like, what happened? Where did it go?
To me, it's just like that is a steal of a price right now to get in on Flux. It is a steal. I would say another good project, but I think they have a lot of work ahead of them. Is going to be 𝐓𝐸. They have a lot of work ahead of them. I would like to actually see the proof of game actually implemented, right? Because it's kind of more proof of play right now. So to me, I want to see maybe have their servers ran on the Flux network. That would be great. But yeah, I would like to. They need to step up now. They did their proof of concept now. Now it's time. It's time to go to the big leagues now. That's one of the projects I've been. I was one of the first people to check them out. So
yeah, I actually had questions on 𝐓𝐸, so we'll just jump right into it. So let's talk about that a little bit. So when did you originally come across that project? Because in our small circle, you kind of were the one that seemed like that brought that to the table, brought some attention to it. How did you stumble upon it? Because this was before the merge. This was before it was even profitable. And I remember back then it sounds like it was like 6 months ago maybe. But I remember some of you guys setting this up, and I just it's like, screw this. This is just another like spec thing. Now I got like 3 rigs on it, and I'm like shooting myself. But yeah, when did you come across it, and how? To be honest with you.
So I like to check out the mining pool stats stream, their new coin section. I think Chump did a video on it not too long ago. I go there all the time. I go there daily.
Okay.
I think there was a new CPU coin that was just listed. So I'm on there all the time, and that's
Phone call.
whoops, I forgot the sound set.
Oh,
But
I did mine earlier. It's all good. There's no
it's your
editing
favorite.
here. There's no editing here. Who is it? Who's calling you? Is it Hawk?
It's your favorite guy.
Ah.
It's
Ah.
All right. But yeah, where we going about 𝐓𝐸𝐴𝐶?
We were talking about 𝐓𝐸𝐴𝐶
right?
and how you actually got into it. By the way, I'm not editing any of this out. We're just keeping it all in. So we're talking about 𝐓𝐸𝐴𝐶 here, and when you got into it's all natural here. When we got into 𝐓𝐸𝐴𝐶 and got so you stumbled across it looking at mining pool stats, pretty much, and looking at their new coins, right?
Yeah. So when I ran into the new coin section, I stumbled upon them. This is before the merge, and everybody was doing all this. Oh, the merge is coming. All this doom and gloom, and all this other. It was like a couple of months of a lot of everybody like doom and gloom. I was just like, I am so sick of the doom and gloom. I'm so done. So I didn't do any of that really. I didn't do hardly any merge like content because I feel like everybody kind of knows about it, and I feel like I was trying to give another perspective. I'm trying to like to show you a different side of it, where like we could find new coins and find new projects and be able and discover them and check them out, rather than talking about the doom days of Ethereum here. So
yeah,
I mainly did it just as a project to have a different approach to the Ethereum merge, and I guess it turned out to be pretty successful.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. So for those not familiar, 𝐓𝐴𝐶, I mean, 𝐓𝐴𝐶 is really staple, at least is what they based themselves off of originally, was like, all right, we're going to have this proof of game concept where we're going to integrate with some games, and then you can play those games, which that's why he kind of said it's kind of like proof of play, because it's like you play the games, you do things in the game, and you're rewarded 𝐓𝐴𝐶. Rust was one of the early ones. I know that was a big one that you guys pushed with the community, and then got it. Did. Oh, push it so hard. I was like, I'm not playing Rust. Screw this. And then then they launched into Minecraft. Now they have news of coming out in GTA 5, which is big. But then there was I watched Mining King's video recently on kind of, it seems like their roadmap has pivoted a little bit. You want to speak a little bit to that and kind of where that puts your sentiment a little bit?
So yeah, the roadmap on my most recent 𝐓𝐴𝐶 video, it was an announcement on that they had on their webpage, and I think they had some stuff on Discord too. But they are permanently only going to increase the proof of game to 50%, and it will not get a further increase starting 2023, which is interesting because their original roadmap was they wanted to start transitioning from proof of work right over to being mostly dominant in proof of game. But to me, it's like, I guess they kind of see that their games aren't actually on the blockchain, that they need their blockchain still. So they have to have the miners still. So it's like, I could see it if they got a game on the blockchain and it ran on the blockchain and they could do some kind of mechanism on the blockchain with the games. But since they're essentially just monitoring what people do to trigger payments,
where's the decentralization there? Like, how are you adding to decentralization? And I think that's what I was actually listening to your video today on the way back from running some errands, and I was hearing that, like, based off of what I was like comprehending, was the fact of, well, the miners are a necessity to keep it decentralized. If not, your miners shrink down to this much. And then how do you keep it decentralized, especially if like your servers aren't running like nodes or something that act as decentralization and stuff. So it sounds like almost it was an oversight and it was a good concept, but now they're finding that, like, wait, we need the miners, and the miners also might be also helping to fund the project, because of all the dev fees and stuff.
Yeah. So there was a lot of announcements in that particular one. There was that the pairing with Flux Labs, I think, is good. So hopefully they could get their servers on, Web3 and have it hosted over there at Flux. That'd be interesting to see if other people can host 𝐓𝐴𝐶 Craft servers, but I don't know how they would make that work, because how are people not going to cheat the system then? So I have no idea. That's like the other thing is so now that they say that they're going to have 24/7 moderators at all hours
Yeah, I
of the
heard
day.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so which is going to be really hard. But it's because you have to think about it this way: is it's not just a normal game anymore where people just play and they
Yeah.
cheat, right? And you kick them out, and not not a big deal. But if this person cheats and he happened to get like 15,000 𝐓𝐽 for it, you know what I mean? He's actually making money.
I
He's
wonder if
making
they
money
delay
every.
your payment in order to address that in games. Like, it's because you know better than me. I haven't played any of the games yet with 𝐲𝐽 that have paid out. Is it almost an instant payment or within a few minutes of like you do the act in
No,
the game?
no. So the payment system is ran every 24 hours.
So they have
They
24 hours
for
to prove the person cheated and they can ban them and then
I
maybe
think it's
stop payment?
they give themselves that time because they actually have to go over
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
all the spreadsheets of everything that happened and confirm everything and then send it out to everybody.
Oh, wow.
Especially with the Minecraft, because they couldn't even have anything server implemented on there to not break the
Terms
Mojang
of service and
Microsoft,
use. Yeah. Got it.
yeah, the terms of service there. So it all had to be done on their little forum and stuff like that now.
Hmm.
So yeah, it is hard to be decentralized for them because they're essentially still overlooking the payment system. So
Yep.
essentially, they're the ones controlling the payments of 𝐲𝐽, which is not decentralized. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm hoping that sometime, and I think that they're working on this, and it's a goal to have it automated, right, to where it is decentralized.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
just, I just don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like they're getting ahead of themselves. Like when I saw the drop of GTA 5, like, and I'm like, wow, that's going to be really big. But it's also like, wait, are you just jumping to game to game? I don't want to say it, but it sounds like it could be this massive rug pull at some point where they're just jumping to all these games and they're like riding this wave of marketing and popularity without going back and looking at all the problems. It reminds me a little bit of Helium a little bit, where it's like, oh my gosh, we're riding this way to popularity. It's blowing up. Look at this. Look at this. And it's like, all right, we're moving past Helium now on the lo-fi network. We're moving over to 5G. And it's like, wait, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, it just sounds like they're forgetting, like when I heard about today from your video regarding the fact of like the proof of game is only going to go to a certain percentage now. It's like, wait, you're forgetting your grassroots and all these things that are being overlooked. I know for a fact, I think you have said many times, they have a very small development team. And it's like,
Yeah,
wait, but who's going back and working on all these things that haven't been addressed yet? Like, as you said, payouts. That absolutely has to be decentralized, has to be secure, has to be automatic. Like, there's just so much work that has to be done going all the way back to Rust that doesn't even get in touch. So, yeah, I could definitely see that with 𝐲𝐽 as a challenge there. But I have 3 rigs on it because I'm like, hell yeah, like, let's keep this going. So I can't complain from a miner's perspective, which is, I think, good. So on that note, talking about that a little bit, are there any crypto projects that you mined in the past that you had a lot of faith in, and this leads right into it, that died out quickly, where you're like, all right, I'm into this early, you're good, and then it's like it's dead, it died? Do you recall any of these over the last few years?
none that I mind that died, I would
Okay.
say, but one that I mind, and I had I wouldn't say a hawk situation, but my
Okay.
hard drive died, and I lost all
Oh.
my Raven coin. So
Oh.
I don't mess with Raven anymore unless I have to. I don't mess with Raven anymore.
Well, once you have
We
that
ha-
server in place, you'll be in a good spot if you're running core
yeah.
wallets, because then you at least have redundancy and all that types of stuff, which will be nice.
If you have a core wallet, I'm not mining it. I did it with
Oh,
𝐲𝐽 just because.
𝐲𝐽
No,
has it
no
right
more.
now. I know.
But everything else is on Zelcore, man. If it's not on Zelcore, my ledger, I just try to stay away. But that's really hard with spec mining and new coins because
Yeah.
they always use the core wallets.
Oh,
If you're a new developer, will you please develop your wallet first? No more
yeah.
core wallets.
Well,
Do
yeah,
us a favor.
that's always like the second thought. It's like, all right, we developed this thing and now we need a wallet to throw at it. Yeah, I can agree there, which makes sense. So let's talk a little more about spec mining. Are you on the Meow train? And Are there others? You like that one? Yeah, I heard you the other night, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go off of that, the Meow Train. All right, so join the Meow Train, and then on top of that, are there other projects that and you don't have to mention them specifically because I know how it is. You mentioned here, and all of a sudden, as small as I am, hash rate will move. But in addition to that, what are your thoughts on spec mining right now? Is it something that you think people should get behind, or where's your head right now?
If you're gonna spec mine, you really need to check these projects out. I did a video on Meow Coin. That's Mine It Right Meow.
Mine It Right Meow. God, we suck. All right, go ahead.
But I did it just because I'm trying. I just show people the new coins and stuff like that. It's not up to me to tell you whether or not to mine it. You need to do your own research, right?
Raven Coin
just because I show you. Raven Coin Light. I never mind that one. No,
I got all the hell where I showed people how to mine it and the wallet, and then like it disappeared, and everybody's like, "Man, look, you were pumping this," and I'm like, "No, I showed you a video on how to do it, and I got hell for it." But
yeah,
I'm sorry,
exactly.
I interrupted. Yeah.
No, it's all right. That's exactly kind of how it is. And 𝐓𝐸𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐿, I don't know if anybody knows who 𝐓𝐸𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐿 is, but he's a person in our group that hangs out with us. And he's always giving me crap. He's always like, "Man, you're the 𝐓𝐸𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐿 spokesman."
That's a good and bad thing. Good and bad thing. When 𝐓𝐸𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐿 get rug pulls or disappears, what the hell, King? Man, you were pushing this so hard,
I'm not in the Meow Coin train. I just did it to show people, right? Okay. Just like 𝐓𝐸𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐿. I did mine that, and I kept mining it because I thought it was a cool project. Meow Coin, I haven't decided whether or not it's a rug pull. I feel it is, but it's like, okay, it's a good cause, but I still feel you're a rug pull. But
yeah,
I mined some frog coin, I think.
Oh yes,
it's on the BMW 512. Mercedes. No, I'm just kidding. Algorithm.
Yeah. What was that just got recently announced, or did they not announce it yet? There was it was a German, I guess it was BMW, like that they were putting things on the blockchain.
BMW 512. I think it's been out for a little while now.
Oh, there was just some announcement in the past week where like something was going to be going on one of the car makers. I think it was like Germany, so maybe it is BMW, that they were going to be, I think they were partnering with Solana or something like that, and they were going to be putting things on that blockchain. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so like they were going to start to do a whole bunch of things on the blockchain moving forward, which I wanted to be like, really? Solana, out of all the ones out there and all the issues they've had? But all right.
Right. No, I think that somebody just named the algorithm BMW 512.
Oh, that's where the confusion was. Okay, got it.
Yeah, they just named it that. Other than that, though, I have done a little bit of CPU mining, but not a lot, like Bitorium, and that's pretty much it. Right now, the Mining King's goal is, I hate to say it and put it on the video, but it's Flux.
Flux and more Flux?
Yep, that's it. That's the focus.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. I was doing a quick Google here. I wanted to see if it came up. I was trying to see. Doesn't show up. Okay. I wanted to see which one it was. I'll have to find it after this. But okay. So on that note, kind of taking a look at it, we talked a little bit about spec mining there. We'll leave off with two last questions here. What do you feel needs to occur in the crypto mining scene for us to rebound? And rebound meaning back to some type of profitability. I'm not talking even post Ethereum, because I don't even know that we'll be there, which it was funny. We thought we were in a bear market before Ethereum merge, and it was still we were really profitable. Now look at us. So from your perspective, just anything you think needs to occur. This is completely speculative. This is just completely hearsay, but what do you think needs to happen for us to get back to that?
Back to profit, like actually making money off our crypto money. We're probably gonna have to see more people turn off. I think for right now, as far as where prices are, right, that's the only way that right now we're gonna get profitable again, is people turn off. So it's gonna be, the name of the game is who's willing to eat the electric bill.
Okay.
Who's willing to eat the electric bill, and who has the lowest electric price. So that's as far as for short term. Long term, there definitely needs to be some price appreciation. Um, I think if Flux can compete with like AWS and
Hmm.
Azure, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, for those cloud hosting services, and if they can really do it at 1/10 of the price,
Oh, it's a
um,
no-brainer. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would say at first people will be skeptical, right? They'll be like, it's blockchain. You know, there's going to be companies
You
are
need
going to
some big
maybe,
names to move over to it in order to kind of
yeah,
solidify it. Yeah.
yeah. Once you get like one big customer, they'll be like, oh man, well they moved over there, right? And they're like, okay, we're going to move over there, and then pretty soon, you know, they're going to have a whole lot of people over there, and the value of Flux will just go through the roof. Hopefully, not
And
financial
King and
advice.
King's buying his crypto yacht, and we're good, you know. But no, I think that makes sense. Something you said, I chatted with a lot of people about this, and something you said I think really makes sense is the hash rate needs to drop. And I think you're right. It's like we had this insane boom over the last 2 years of just growth in the crypto scene, and now we
Yeah.
can't support it. We can't support it. With Ethereum
No.
gone, we can't
Yeah.
support the amount of hash rate that's out there because everything becomes unprofitable. So I think you're right. And I think what will happen is if we stay where we are today, 26th of September, for the next 12 months, our hash rate is going to be significantly less than 12 months from now because it's going to weed out everybody who they're either turned off, they packed them away, they sold them. You know, I think you're absolutely right. And I think we could almost call it a purge, but it's almost a necessity. We really need
Yeah.
that purge to occur.
I like that you called it a purge, because to me it's like I call it like, you know, um, it's like the real miners that are going to stick around, because I feel like a lot of people got into it
Yep.
with this misconception of being able to like constantly make passive income. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of people that did not hear about that didn't know about the Ethereum merge. You know
Oh,
what I
I know,
mean?
right? Crazy.
I got a few messages like, hey man, is your mining rig still mining? I'm like, sure is. Are you mining ETH? Sure not. No, I'm not.
What's Ethereum? It's gone. The merge happened. It's not even on my radar anymore.
And I think there's just too many people that like FOMO'd in there. Like they saw
Yeah.
the money just kept rolling in, so they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get into mining. And those people, I mean, are probably either jump ship already or are gonna start jumping ship soon, because maybe they're like, well, we'll wait and see what happens. But I think those people will. I think probably 25% will jump off, probably due to like, you know, the fad of crypto mining. So
Yeah, no, smart.
that's what I think.
All right, I like it. So last question I like to ask each guest before they go is, well, actually, I have two last questions. First question: if someone approaches you today and says, "Mining King, is it worth getting into crypto mining on September 26, 2022?" What is your answer?
Yes. Yes,
Bam.
it is.
All right, love it. Okay, don't even need to explain. I love it. Then the last question there is, if there's anybody else in the scene that you would like to see on Meet the Miner, who would it be?
Oh, who would it be? Let me think of a really good guest here.
All right, I like it.
Let's go with trying to think of somebody really good. Okay. New one that's pretty new to the YouTube.
Okay.
I don't think they've made a video yet,
All
but they
right.
are in a group. And I would say it would be Crypto Tito.
Okay. Interesting. All right, I like it. I think she was on did you guys do Terra Tuesday with her?
Yeah, we
Okay.
did Terra Tuesday with her. So she just recently started her YouTube. She's going to start making content, and she's going to be. I don't know of any regular female crypto miners, at least in our space, that I've ever come across.
Yeah, I only
Maybe
know
they're
a
not.
pocket. I only know a pocket change and Crypto Tito is like active females that are at least vocal and part of like an inner circle type of. I guess I call it an inner circle. It's more just a community, but no, that's a good one. It's good. And if you guys didn't know, the Mining King and Hawk, they host a Tuesday show. It's a live show called Terra Tuesday. Check it out. I don't get a chance to watch it as much often live, but I always enjoy watching it the next day when I'm working and stuff like that. Great conversation. So check it out. I think you guys swap between your channel and Hawk's, correct? Every other week?
Yeah, every other Tuesday. So yeah, we switch channels. That way we both, you know, kind of get the crowds moving over and stuff like that.
Awesome. Guys, well, I will put the Mining King's Twitter as well as his YouTube directly down below. Please go over, subscribe, and follow him. Check out all his fun content. If there's some of the projects that you heard about today that he's working on, you go check it out on his YouTube channel. Other than that, guys, from myself and the Mining King, we appreciate you guys joining us today. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.